at a networking event or a business conference or maybe even of a social event where there's lots of people that you don't know, and you're they also have a lot of different personalities. How do you connect with them on a deep, meaningful level, especially if you're an introvert? Hi, I'm Jacqueline, and we at Joyful Living Mindset are so excited that you're here because we believe that a great gift resides within you that's going to uplift humanity in some significant way. And we're here to help you navigate that path and live your truth. So, let's talk about, especially as introverts, if there's any introverts out there, leave in the comment and let me know, because strangely enough, I am naturally an introvert. However, put me in a social environment where there's people and I just naturally turn into a social butterfly. So often a lot of people mistaken me as a social butterfly or an extrovert. But after attending an event or a meeting where there's lots of people, there's lots of fun, or a party and whatnot, I look forward to retreating to back home or to my own sanctuary, my own space, where I can bathe in my own solitude again and just kind of reground myself in that peace and tranquility. But over the years, I've had to learn how to navigate the social environment to build deep, meaningful connections with people at a social setting, whether that be for a business or a party or at work or anything of that nature. And a lot, when I first was starting out working and entering the workspace and going to happy hours and events or parties and whatnot, I see a lot of people, and then as I started my business as well, I see a lot of people, what they end up doing is that they are really into dressing to impressing and getting like their speech and their what they want to say really nailed down. And yes, while that has a place and purpose for sure, right? Because first impression is everything, but it shouldn't be everything. So for me, yes, when I show up to an event, I do also dress very nicely, but here's the difference, is that it's like I don't dress to impress anybody other than myself. And I think that's a really huge distinction. The other thing that people do is that they think that by doing things to get people's attention or contacts or just being fun and just really living in the moment and just being able to snap lots of pictures with them and that's building meaningful connections. Well, yes, it does in the moment, but as you leave the event or go back into your normal day-to-day lives, that impression and those moments don't necessarily last longer than what you would want, and start to develop like deep friendships and blossom into either deep friendships or partnerships or collaborations or something that is lasting just for that moment. Because have you gone to an event where the people that you meet, it just seems like, oh, so wonderful in the moment and at that event, but then as you go back to your life, even though you have their number, their name, and their contacts, but you really never really connect outside of that or more than that, right? I mean, I have had plenty of those examples myself. And over the years, especially now as I'm entering or on my entrepreneurial path, and also becoming more and more immersed in my personal growth journey, what I have learned is that building deep, meaningful connections really involves like three main steps. First is to show up as your authentic, embodied self. And what I mean by that is committing to personal growth and immersing yourself in that work to work on yourself, to restore love within yourself, to be grounded in love and gratitude, to work on things that are triggering you as you're interacting with other people, so that you can dissolve those mental blocks and really align yourself back to the nature of what it is that you're desiring or wanting to achieve and experience or have or be. And really immerse yourself in the work so that you can day by day evolve into the next best version of yourself. And here's the most important thing, is learning to fall madly in love with yourself and who you're becoming every single day. And if you're able to do that and you show up as your full authentic self, that by itself and by definition will turn heads, will attract attention, whether you intend it to or not. You're just showing up, and your radiance that you bring into the room will light up the entire room, or wherever it is, whatever room that you walk in. That has been my experience. The second is to genuinely show interest in people. For me, when I am meeting people, I'm usually the one who not much talking about myself. Most of my talking is really about genuinely inquiring about the other person, learning, getting to know them more, understanding who they are and how they got here, and what's their story is, what is important to them, what brings them joy, what lights them up, and what are they trying to achieve, and all of that, anything that can get to know them, whether that be a 1-minute encounter or 5-minute or half an hour or whatever, or over dinner, whatever it is. I really take every opportunity to really meet and enjoy getting to know people. And third is to find ways and opportunities where I can add value and help them or support them or encourage them in any way. Because oftentimes, especially us overachievers and leaders and change agents, it's very difficult for us to ask for help and support. We always are wearing our cape, right, of invincibility, of strength, of confidence, of that being a servant leader and helping others and inspiring them, uplifting them and whatnot. And so it's very hard for us to ask for help. And excuse me, what I've noticed is that if you are truly genuinely there to get to know somebody, you will start to understand and kind of pick up cues in terms of what's bothering them or what's on their mind, and what they might need, so that you can ask them, like, hey, so and so, you don't seem, is everything okay? You just seem a little off, right? And just really be in tune with what they need and how you can offer your love, whether that be just simply your a hug or a concern, or just how you are suggestions or ideas of how you might help them navigate through a certain situation. Just really being there and finding opportunities to be of service for people and add value to the relationship. That is, people notice that, right? People will notice when you actually are genuinely, one, showing up as your full, authentic, embodied self, when you are genuinely really getting to know them and taking an interest in them, and when you are genuinely looking for opportunities to help them, support them, add value with no hidden agenda. This is just you just embracing and being love and gratitude and sharing that with people. Because that by itself, like, people will notice, because you are making them feel special, right? I love the quote by Maya Angelou. I think it goes something like, people will forget what you say, they'll forget what you do, but they'll never forget how you make them feel. And that's really essential. These 3 steps are really about helping people to feel special, inspiring them by showing up as your true, authentic and body self, radiating positively, radiating love, radiating gratitude, and so much light and strength and happiness from you. And really making them feel special, that you really care, you genuinely care to want to get to know them more, you genuinely care to want to look for opportunities to support them more. And and I'll share you a real life example. Like last week, I was actually in Albuquerque, New Mexico, for just an unforgettable event with Lisa Nichols, her When My Soul Speaks event. And that event, we spent a whole week there, and most of the people there I have never met or know of until the day of. And me being an introvert as well, it's I'm not someone who just rushes in, walks into a room and feels comfortable calling attention to myself and being in the spotlight. And so I work to my strength. I know that I'm someone who don't need the spotlight and don't go out of my way to call for attention to be in the spotlight. And so I just walk in with my quiet confidence, showing up as my true authentic self. Every day I take time to ground myself in prayers of compassion and gratitude. And I just get myself ready for the day in a way that makes me feel good, that when I look in the mirror, like I can say, oh my gosh, you're just so beautiful, have an amazing day, gorgeous, right? I have that relationship with myself. And so I fill myself up every single morning, right? And I walk into the room and I am just in overflow with love and compassion and gratitude, and radiate positivity and light and happiness to share with anyone who's in my presence. Even though I'm not calling the spotlight on me, because I have my own spotlight, I have my own light that is radiating from within me, so I don't need someone else's spotlight. And then, just showing up and genuinely just meeting people, getting to know them, remembering people's names. That is like something so simple, but it goes such a long way. And I'm meeting is probably a room full of almost 100 people. And every single day, I would make sure to sit in different places around the room so that I can meet more people, so that I can get to know more people and remember names and their stories and a little bit more about themselves. And when I pass by anyone who I've met previously, I would make sure to greet them by their name or give them a hug, or just come up with a nice, gentle, loving gesture of hey, Sherry, or hi, Kirsten, good morning, right? And just greeting them from a place of just pure cheerfulness and joy and compassion like that, and calling them and greeting them by their name too, letting them know that, hey, I remember you and I value, respect you, right? And every single day I would do that. And there was one particular instance also one day where I was walking back to my room after the meeting, before dinner, and I had decided to organize a little casual get-together in my room so that we can practice some of the materials that were taught to us that day. I was walking back to the room and I met this beautiful, lovely young woman as my peer in the group, and she seemed a little down than when I had met her earlier in the week. And I asked her, I greeted her, I asked her and just shared with her hey, what are you doing tonight? And I asked her, and she said she was just going back to her room. And I asked her, I'm like, hey, are you okay? You just seem a little down today. And I know we went through a lot of heavy lifting, kind of emotional healing work today. So there's lots of emotions that are surfacing. I was like, how are you doing about that? And just showing genuine interest, right? And she was sharing that she was a little struggling a little bit because so much is surfacing, especially when you're doing deep healing and embodiment work. There's so much within you that is going to surface so that it can be released and healed from within you. And I just spent some time there just listening to her and just letting her share what was on her mind, what was in her heart. And she said, yeah, I'm just, there's just so much going on right now. I think I'm just going to go back and just hunker down in my room. But something inside of me knew that even though that's what she said she was going to do, something inside of me just instinctively knew that that's not what she truly wanted and needed in that moment. And I think in that moment she was feeling lost and alone and just needing a little pick-me-upper. And I shared with her about people gathering at my room later on in the evening, and I said, hey, listen, instead of going back to your room tonight and wallowing in your own misery all by yourself, how about just come hang out with us? We're all, first of all, letting her know that she's not alone, that we're all navigating the day together, navigating the work, the healing work that we were going through the entire day. There's so much surfacing, there's so much that we are juggling and navigating and trying to process and make sense of. And so, like, how about we just come together and be there for one another and help one another navigate, this journey together and process all of this together. And we get to practice some of the assignments together as well, and just unite more in love and compassion and gratitude and encouragement for one another. And I immediately just saw her face lift up again, like she was able to smile again. And she did came over to the room and attended, and we had such an amazing time together. We bonded. There was about 11 of us squeezed into my room, and we all bonded and was there for one another. And it was just it made the event even more memorable, right? And at the end of the event, as everybody was leaving, she was the last to leave, and I pulled her aside and I asked her, hey, how are you doing now? I said, thank you so much for coming. I'm so glad that you did. How are you feeling now? And she shared that, Jacqueline, thank you so much for inviting me and getting me out of my comfort zone and talking me out of just retreating back to my room by myself. I really needed this tonight, more than I even realized. So thank you so much for taking the initiative and inviting me and getting me out of my room and being in this space of loving, supportive environment with everybody tonight. And that was a game changer for us. And now we are not just, strangers, passerbyers, but now like we have formed a connection. We now are kind of like soul sisters on this journey together. And in fact, we're still in contact after the event, and we are going to continue to stay connected to see how we can support one another, collaborate with one another, build synergies, and just be in that space to share this journey of becoming and expanding together. So that is my the three things that I use to build deep, meaningful connections that has just made a world of difference for me and has really expanded my network of really like-minded, quality friendships in the past few years. And again, the 3 steps is 1, show up as your true, authentic, and embodied self. 2 is to genuinely show interest to get to know people. And 3 is to find opportunities to genuinely support and add value to the other person. Now, that to me has just really been a game changer for me in building relationships, because it really speaks to the embodiment work that I'm doing so that I can expand my capacity for giving and also receiving and co-creating with like-minded individuals. So I hope this was helpful. I would love to hear your experience in terms of when you are going to a networking event or social event or business conference, and especially if you're an introvert, and what challenges do you face? And what questions you might have, and any clarification that you might need to help you navigate those situations and help you next time show up more comfortably, confidently, and really enjoying and owning your space there, enjoying the time that you are spending there and the relationships that you are forming with people at the event. So I hope this was helpful. Once again, thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to reading your comments and helping you and supporting you further in any way that I can. But until next time, take care. Bye for now.